Good morning, it's Mrs. Jobson here, and today I'm going to go out and water my plants in the garden, particularly the ones that are in the containers. A little bit like these ones here. They're quite big shrubs and they drink lots and lots of water come the spring going into the summer because the soil dries out quite quickly. So it's really helpful to go out in the morning and water the plants. That gives them plenty of water for during the daytime. So I'm going to start by filling up my watering can, and I like to use the watering can so that I can see how much water I'm actually using on the plants. So over here I have my watering can, which I keep next to my hose, which I'm just going to fill up with water. We don't want to make the watering can too heavy so we can't handle it. So I'm just going to fill. I have another plant here that gets plenty of water from the hose that drips, so I'm not going to look at that one today. Let me just check inside the watering can, and I have plenty of water there, so I think I've got enough. So I'm going to lift carefully, bending my knees, and lift the watering can and take it over to my tubs that need the water. You will see my dog run back and forth because she does like drinking the water that I spill. Try not to water the dog too much. She's a bit of a funny pickle, she is. Her name is Mia. So I think I've given plenty of water here to this tub. And now I'm going to bring it down to a slightly smaller tub. I don't want to overwater them and rot the plant, but I just want to make sure that I cover all the top. A little bit into the new ones. These are new plants that I've just put in this year. Hope they were great. As you can see, plenty of water on the top which will soak through, so we don't want any more there. And now into my nice Japanese maple or Acer. It's a big tub, as you can see, so I'm going to put in lots and lots of water into this tub. That should do nicely. And now over to my last one here, which is a raspberry bush. It's a new one this year, so hopefully I should get some raspberries. Okay, and that's it. And as you can tell, watering cans now empty. I've started. Hello there, it's Mrs. Jobson. I'm just going to show you how I water my plants inside. We do use different size watering containers. Obviously we have the hose in the garden. We also use the watering can, the large watering can. But indoors we also have a small watering can to water the plants, because using the big watering can inside would make rather a mess. So I'm just going to show you the difference in the two watering cans that I use. As you may recall, this is the larger watering can that I used in the back garden to water the tubs, and now I'm going to water the small plants on my windowsill, or the actual seeds which I've planted. I'm waiting for them to actually start to shoot, so I need to use a smaller watering can, and for this one I use this little tiny green watering can so that it prevents making too much mess and spilling too much water anywhere. So if I just pick the watering can up, and all I need to do, I don't want to make the plants too wet, I water them from the bottom of the actual plant. So I find and I pour down to the side. Watering, let me show you here, it'll be easier. I water into the container rather than into the plant pots themselves. This way then the tubs will actually soak up the water they require. I have a conservatory, so it keeps it gets very warm in here, so I need to keep the plants moist. I don't want them soaking wet, just moist. So I have to water them twice a day. Okay, and again here I will just pour a little bit of water into the base, as you can see coming out, and that's plenty enough for now to keep the pots nice and moist. And hopefully in a week's time I will have some nice new plants to put in the garden. I'm trying to grow some vegetables, so let's see whether my seeds and my little bulbs will grow. Hello there, Mrs. Jobson again. This time we're going to water some indoor plants. I have some orchids that I keep on the windowsill that require watering only probably once a fortnight, not very often. But we're going to water these using my little watering can, my little green watering can. But it's really, really important when you water orchids, they're always watered from the bottom. You never get the top wet. So I put a little, and it sounds mean, but we only give a little bit of water to orchids. So I'm just going to water to the side here so it runs down. This big pot here with these beautiful purple flowers, I will water to the side. Just a little, very, very little. We don't give them lots. And likewise this nice white orchid, just a little bit to the side. Okay, and that's all I need to do with my orchids, probably once every 2 weeks. It's a nice sunny by the window, so they do get warm. I also have spider plants, and I usually keep these in my bathroom. So I'm going to water, and they drink quite a bit, so I'm going to water from the top, on top of the soil, just enough to cover it and let it soak down the pot. I have another one here. I'm going to do the same, just from the top, and then I let it soak down. As you can see, I'm not giving them loads and loads of water. And then lastly, I have a plant here which is just starting to shoot again. It's called a cyclamen, and it has beautiful pink flowers, but it normally comes out at Christmas and Easter. And I don't want it to die off completely, like this leaf here is dying off. I don't want the bulb to rot, but I do want to keep it just and moist so it's ready again for Christmas time. So again, down the side of the pot, not on the soil, just enough to keep the soil moist. Okay, so remember, it's really, really useful to use a small watering can indoors so that you don't spill and make any mess. And also you can see how much water that you've used. Now that was almost full when I started, and I have at least a quarter left in there, so I don't put a lot of water on the plants indoors. But for these ones, I will water them once a week. I hope these tips are useful, and enjoy your planting and your gardening.